Welcome to Have You Read It? The channel where we bring books to life, one summary at a time. Whether you're here for self-help, personal growth, or business inspiration, there's something for everyone. Today, we're diving into Leaders Who Last by Dave Kraft. This book isn't just a dry textbook on leadership. It's a heartfelt, personal journey through Kraft's 40 years of experience. He doesn't just throw theories at you. He shares real-life stories, practical tips, and biblical wisdom that you can apply right now, whether you're leading a team at work, volunteering at church, or just trying to better yourself. Kraft starts with a powerful analogy. Leadership is a marathon, not a sprint. He emphasizes the importance of finishing well, not just for your own sake, but for the sake of those you lead. He reminds us of the sobering statistic that only 30% of leaders actually finish well, and he's determined to help change that. So, what does it mean to finish well? It's about staying true to your values, growing in your faith, maintaining strong relationships, and making a lasting positive impact on the world around you. It's about crossing the finish line with integrity, passion, and a sense of accomplishment, knowing that you've run the race with purpose and left a legacy worth remembering. One of the central themes in Leaders Who Last is the concept of the leadership wheel. Kraft uses this visual representation to break down the essential elements of effective leadership. Let's imagine a wheel with 5 key components. At the center of the wheel is your relationship with Jesus Christ. This is the hub, the power source that drives everything else. Kraft emphasizes the importance of staying connected to Jesus through spiritual disciplines like prayer, Bible study, and worship. He shares his personal practices, reminding us that it's not about legalism or checking off boxes, but about cultivating a deep, intimate relationship with the source of all power. Now, let's talk about the spokes of the wheel. The first spoke is purpose. Kraft shares his own struggles with finding his purpose, emphasizing the importance of discovering what God has uniquely designed you to do. He encourages us to reflect on our experiences, passions, and gifts, to develop a concise purpose statement that gives us direction and motivation. Next up is passion. This is the fire that ignites our purpose and makes it contagious. Kraft reminds us that passion is not just about having a bubbly personality. It's about a deep conviction and enthusiasm for what we do. He encourages us to pray for God to set us on fire, spend time with passionate people, and engage in activities that fuel our enthusiasm. The third spoke is priorities. This is about choosing what matters most and saying no to the distractions that pull us away from our purpose. Kraft shares the story of Ivy Lee and Charles Schwab, highlighting the power of a prioritized to-do list. He encourages us to be proactive rather than reactive, focusing on the 20% of our efforts that produce 80% of our results. And finally, the fourth spoke is pacing. This is about recognizing our limits, taking breaks, and avoiding burnout. Kraft shares his personal struggles with stress and overwork, emphasizing the importance of Sabbath rest. He encourages us to listen to our bodies, recharge our batteries, and find a sustainable rhythm of work and rest. Now let's shift gears and talk about the second part of the book, where Kraft explores the leader's formation. He explores 4 key areas: calling, gifts, character, and growth. Calling is about discerning God's specific purpose for our lives, especially within the context of vocational ministry. Kraft encourages us to wrestle with God, examine our motivations, and seek wise counsel to determine whether we're truly called to leadership. Gifts are about recognizing our God-given talents and abilities. Kraft emphasizes the importance of identifying our strengths and weaknesses and finding roles that match our gifting. He points out that leaders often need word gifts, the ability to communicate effectively and inspire others. Character is about who we are when no one's looking. Kraft emphasizes the importance of integrity, humility, and other Christ-like qualities. He challenges us to be more concerned with our character than our reputation. And finally, growth is about lifelong learning and development. Kraft encourages us to stay teachable, embrace new challenges, and continually strive to become better versions of ourselves. In the final part of the book, Kraft focuses on the leader's fruitfulness, vision, influence, and legacy. He emphasizes that leadership isn't just about self-improvement, it's about making a positive impact on others. Vision is about having a clear picture of the future and inspiring others to share that dream. Kraft emphasizes the importance of casting a compelling vision, communicating it effectively, and implementing it with a strong team. Influence is about the power of relationships and the ability to motivate and empower others. Kraft highlights the importance of investing in resourceful and trainable people, prioritizing our time with those who have the greatest potential for growth. And finally, legacy is about the lasting impact we leave behind. Kraft emphasizes the importance of developing future leaders who can carry on the work after we're gone. Kraft wraps up the book with the powerful story of John Stephen Akhwari, the Tanzanian marathon runner who finished last in the 1968 Olympics, despite a severe injury. Akhwari's response to the question of why he didn't quit is a powerful reminder of the importance of finishing well. My country did not send me 7,000 miles to start the race. They sent me 7,000 miles to finish the race. So, what are the main takeaways from leaders who last? Here are a few key heuristics to remember. Stay connected to Jesus Christ, the source of all power. Discover your purpose and let it fuel your passion. Prioritize your time and energy to protect your purpose and passion. Find a sustainable pace to avoid burnout and finish strong. Develop your calling, gifts, character, and growth potential. Cast a compelling vision and inspire others to join you. Invest in relationships and develop future leaders. Leave a legacy worth remembering. Thanks for watching. Have you read it? Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss our next book dive.